The Rexall One Walk to Conquer Cancer is the Princess Margaret's new fundraiser to conquer all cancers. Walk as a team or individual and raise funds to conquer the cancer that matters most to you.
You can walk, you can fundraise, you can donate, you can contribute. You're supporting one of the world's top 5 cancer centers.
One day, all cancers. Register today at onewalk.ca.
Are you maxed out, dealing with overdrafts, unpaid bills, and collection calls? Then it's time to call the professionals at David Sklar & Associates.
I'm David Sklar, and for the past 24 years, I've helped people with serious debt problems get a fresh financial start. We can help you avoid bankruptcy, stop collection calls, stop interest charges, and get you out of debt.
Call us today at 310-9200 for a free consultation.
Harold the Mortgage Closer has the cash you need.
Do you need a mortgage and the bank says no?
Harold the Mortgage Closer can make it happen. Specializing in fast second and third mortgages. Call Harold. Bathurst Street, 1 light south of Lawrence.
A hydro-vault fire on Richmond Street has stopped streetcars and subway service in the downtown core, but the TTC says service could be back soon. And we have a live look for you. This is at the Bloor subway station where CP24's George Legajanis will have the latest developments on commuter chaos, even at this hour. And this comes as the GTA deals with a winter storm coming up. CP24's meteorologist Bill Coulter will tell us just how much snow we will get. Let's just say we may be breaking a record. Good morning. 10 o'clock, -9 right now from 299 Queen Street West. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24. Hello, I'm Pooja Honda. A mess downtown this morning as power issues have thrown the TTC into disarray. A hydro vault near Yonge and Richmond caught fire. It was around 1:30 this morning. This cut subway service on Line 1 between the Bloor and St. Andrew stations. Now, shuttle buses, they're being used to ferry passengers around the affected stations. Power issues are also affecting stretches of key downtown streetcar routes. The King, Queen, Dundas, Spadina, and Harbourfront streetcars are all affected. And commuters are dealing with long wait lines as they try to make it through these delays. This video was sent to us by a viewer. Take a look. It shows just how long the lineup is for the Spadina streetcar, which is actually halfway down the Spadina Tunnel. And have a look at the commuter chaos at Bloor Station just a short while ago. Riders traveling south on the Yonge University line were forced to get off the subway at Bloor. And as you can see, people were packed like sardines on the platform.
I'm cold. I'm not really dressed appropriately for the weather, but it's okay. Honestly, like, it happens. You can't control it. There's no point in stressing.
I'm now running approximately 15-20 minutes late already. I usually try to get to work a little bit earlier.
It's a nuisance. It's unfortunate.
It happens. It's okay. Happens at least once a year.
And Mayor Tory tweeted this a short time ago, just had an update from TTC. 130 shuttle buses deployed, priority traffic signals downtown, and should be resolved in time for the afternoon rush hour. And let's get more now on this major transit issue. We're joined by CP24's Mika Madolo. Mika, you've been following this all morning. Some good news, at least when it comes to streetcars, maybe?
Yeah, well, not yet, but very soon they're saying that streetcar power is trying to be restored, and hopefully the streetcars will be up and running very shortly. So still problems with streetcars. As you can see in front of our building, there's a second streetcar that's behind the first streetcar that was stalled earlier. They're trying to get these streetcars up and running. I know they're trying to get the power up, and hopefully very, very shortly, once TTC confirm, streetcars will be running very, very shortly along the Queen, King, Dundas, Spadina, and Harbourfront routes. But right now, they're still being affected by this power problem, and hopefully that'll be cleared shortly. Also affecting power problems is the Line 1, which is the Yonge University line. This is a map in red right now. From Bloor Station down to Union Station, there's no train service because of the power problems in both directions. Now, if you're heading northbound on the University side from Union all the way up to Wilson, trains are running. Southbound from Wilson all the way down to St. Andrews, trains are running, and they are utilizing shuttle buses, over 130 shuttle buses from Bloor to St. Andrews in both directions. And now you're seeing the red up in between Downsview and Wilson Station. That's a whole separate problem. There's a person injured at track level, so right now there's no train service in between Downsview and Wilson stations in both directions, Pooja. So it's a very busy morning. Once we hear about the shuttle buses and the streetcars on the surface routes, we'll let you know when that clears. Hopefully that'll clear very, very shortly. But right now, still no service in certain areas of the downtown core.
Okay, thank you for that update, Mika. We'll be checking back in with you later. Let's head over to CP24's George Legajanis. He's at Bloor Station this morning. And what's happening there right now, George?
Well, Pooja, the weather is not cooperating now. We've got the snow falling in earnest, and everything has really conspired this morning to work against the commuter. We are right at the northwest corner here of Yonge and Bloor, and it has been a non-stop cascade of shuttle buses and people. This lineup goes all the way around west on Bloor as far as my eyes can see, and it's been that way since I landed here at about 7 this morning. People are getting on the buses with the help of special constables. The folks that you see here in these brightly colored vests, they've been working very, very hard and diligently, not taking a break at all. And people have been very cooperative. So far, we haven't seen any major issues. People have been watching us and understanding this problem since earlier this morning. Andy Byford is warming up inside one of these buildings. Our station is on in the lobby of this bank, so we can kind of keep an eye on things. And he's been giving us regular updates as well. He's had a number of conference calls. That situation at Downsview made the problem even more difficult. Another situation there. But again, just for anyone that's watching now that's just fresh on this problem, the east-west line on the subway is fine. That's not the problem. It's north and south. A transformer fire underground this morning at 4:30. The TTC officials couldn't get inside to work the problem because fire kept them out until they worked the fire. And now they're reconnecting lines and making sure that everything's back online. Power-wise, we hear that the subway will be back and running mid-afternoon. Streetcars, power is coming back online as these poor folks are just waiting to get to work or elsewhere. It's been a tough haul. Let's quickly talk to this guy. What's your name?
Hey, I'm Adam.
Adam, how's this been for you?
This is a tough commute. Just you know, supposed to get to work in 15 minutes and not getting there today. So
hopefully they'll understand. Where'd you come from and how did you get here?
I came from the gym and I thought I was going to get in I thought they would fix it.
Where was that? What part of town?
Just over here, just next door. Menu Life. And yeah, it's rough weather. Woo! You know, the snow and and the TTC not working. This is bad times for Toronto.
All right, but you're smiling. I saw a smile there.
You got to smile in the morning, otherwise it's gonna be a really long day.
Attaboy. That's the attitude, huh? All right, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you so much, George. Yeah, you know, and as George mentioned, he's been there since 7 this morning, and it's still quite busy there. Of course, we'll check back with George momentarily. Passengers who, by the way, normally take the TTC to work, you can hop on a GO train instead this morning.
The TTC and GO Transit always work very closely together to manage during any kind of shutdown, and they're always helpful to us, and we're pleased to do the same for them. So anybody that has a MetroPass or a transit fare needs to switch on to a GO station. We have lots throughout the city. We will honor their fares. But we've also decided, given the length of the shutdown, that we're going to honor it on Up Express as well.
And CP24's Rena here is at the Richmond Street Hydro Vault. So Rena, tell us what's the latest there.
Thanks very much for that, Pooja. Take a look behind me. You'll see that crews are actually starting to clear here. The TTC is actually in charge of the equipment that failed overnight due to that cable fire. They say that they're really working on 2 different fixes. One of them for streetcars and related to streetcar infrastructure, the other one related to subways. They say the good news is that they have restored service to the streetcar infrastructure. Now, that still means you're going to see a bit of a delay as far as service being fully restored to all those streetcar lines, including the 501 and the 504. But they say they have made the fix they needed to do in order to make that possible. They say with subways, that could take a little bit of extra time this morning. So there's a piece of good news. They also say that the cable fire overnight damaged some of their communication cables. That's what led to the overhead cables seeing that sort of disruption in service, if you will, and also the disruption in service we saw for the subways as well. As far as the problem here is concerned, while it is not fully repaired, repaired. They say at this time they've contained the problem, they've isolated the problem, so they can pull power from other substations in order to restore service to subway and to streetcars. So while it may take some time to see those service levels restored to normal, they say the good news is, as far as streetcars are concerned, we could see them up and running shortly. As far as the subways go, they're still working on that problem for now. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Rena. Now, CP24's Cam Woolley is keeping an eye on things on the streets. And Cam, where are you and what's going on?
Well, we got some good news. We're on King Street. It's starting to snow. And the really good news, we're just going to watch the operator here. She's going to be getting to her streetcar. The streetcar under the bridge this morning was one of the first ones to run out of juice. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, she's just got the power back on in her streetcar. The car behind saw what was happening, was able to get stopped only a few meters away before being in a bad spot. So she's going to get her car going. She's been here since very, very early this morning. There's multiple cars have been stopped behind us. Now the good news too is that with the rush hour over, we've seen people starting to really catch up. And the last few buses gone by, there's even been a few seats in them. Now we're just going to wait and see if she gets her car going. The power's up. Might it take time to build up air? Or? It'll take a few minutes. Okay, so we might not see it take off just yet because they actually have to build up the compressed air to take the brakes off. So the great news is power is restored here. So the King Street cars will be resuming shortly between River and Spadina. This is the area. So Dundas, King, Queen, and down in Harbourfront all lost power between River and Spadina. There was about 10 or 15 of them that were actually trapped in that zone, and it looks like they're getting power. They had supervisors driving around picking up the night shift people that were stranded in their cold street cars, but looks like good news, and we'll let you know as soon as things get going here. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Cam. And that seems to be what we're seeing throughout the city, where the streetcars are just starting to get up and moving, but still not fully resumed. So, of course, keep it here on CP24. We will update you on when that happens. Now, we are expecting more of a mess on the roads later today as that winter storm heads for Toronto and the GTA. Already seeing from our live pictures right now some of that snow that's falling down. The area is under a winter storm warning because of the heavy snow that's expected to hit late this afternoon. The city says that it has its fleet of salters and plows ready to hit the streets as the storm slams in. There are also travel advisories in place at Toronto airports. Travelers are being told to check their flight status before heading out. And let's find out a little bit more about this storm. We head over now to our meteorologist, Bill Coulter. So we need a full breakdown of exactly what's going to happen today and the potential of even breaking a record.
Yeah, you betcha. The old record for the state that you're referring to is just shy of 10 centimeters for March 1st. It was set a long time ago. I think we'll probably smash that as we head towards accumulations probably by midnight of about 15 centimeters. It is also cold. There's wind chill out here of minus 16. The snow is falling, as we've shown you on all our live shots. That was expected. This is the light snow that's coming the leading edge of this system. The center of the low itself still down over Missouri and Kansas, and as it moves closer, this will actually intensify, but there will be a bit of a gap. This is the leading edge, and then there's a bit of a gap for a few hours in the early afternoon, and you may be, oh, that was it? Well, no, the biggest is yet to come, and that will arrive just after the dinner hour, and it will really ramp up through the evening hours from about, even earlier now, from about 7:38 through to about midnight will be the worst conditions out there, with snow falling at a very heavy rate and winds blowing as well. Here, the area is expected to pick up 15 to 25 centimeters of snow. The snowfall warning expected around 15 centimeters of snow on the periphery of this main band. May even be some lake enhancement as well. Right now, we're getting that initial phase, and you can see stretching from eastern Lake Huron through the west end of Lake Ontario, and we're just getting into it right now. But it's a fairly narrow band, so it'll be with us till about noon. Then from about noon till about 3, it may ease or calm down, and then really ramp back up for 5 or 6 p.m. and last right through to the early hours of Wednesday. Total accumulations, 15 to 25 centimeters. And while it pulls away for the morning rush, the winds will still be blowing, so watch out for some blowing and drifting tomorrow morning. I'll have more on the storm system in your long range coming up.
New problem to talk about out on the roads. Eastbound of the Gardner Expressway between Jarvis and the Don Valley Parkway. Kind of tough to see because of the snow flurries. Emergency vehicles on scene. A collision blocking a couple of lanes on the eastbound Gardner. Meantime, the Gardner, one of the slower routes. We're still seeing delays as you get past South Kingsway. Busy. Top end of the Don Valley Parkway. 401 looking at it through Birchmount. Looking at it over near Keele Street. For the most part, it's getting slippery, but it is okay. Had some problems that were being cleaned up on the southbound 427 near the 409 in town. Bathurst north of Shepherd, Avenue Road in Lonsdale, Weston Road, and Rogers. Pooja.
Thank you, Bob. Right now it's 10:14 and -9. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24. We continue to follow that major TTC problem, a hydro vault fire on Richmond Street. It knocked out power on the subway line, that's between Bloor and St. Andrew stations. We'll have the latest developments in minutes, including an update on streetcar service as well. We know the power is back, just waiting for full service to resume.
Toronto's toughest challenges. Have you ever wanted to tell the mayor what's on your mind? Here's your chance. Live with John Tory. The Mayor. Tomorrow at 8, only on CP24.
Which one of yous is Wayne?
Why don't you guys wear belts?
Because we buy pants that fit.
Didn't your coach tell you to get in shape?
It's a cheat day. So your breath could stop a Mack truck.
It's all the rage.
It's a Texas size 10-4.
That's your lesson for today, folks.
Wondrous!
This is a true story.
Start the interview with a firm handshake. I know! Don't do that! Try new Head & Shoulders Instant Cooling Relief. It cools on contact and also helps us fight flakes. Try new Head & Shoulders Instant Cooling Relief for cooling relief in a snap.
Make time this spring to escape to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the only thing you'll want to do is have fun in the sun. Let the sound of the ocean's tide take all your cares away and leave you refreshed to experience something new. It's your moment to let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Could you use $20,000, $30,000, or even $300,000? Home equity loans beyond compare. Call 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL.
CapitalDirect.ca.
CP24 is proud to support companies committed to kids.
Welcome back. Well, we continue to follow a major subway problem. With all the details now, we're joined live by CP24's Mika Madola. We can't forget there's also a streetcar problem. So update us, Mika.
Yes, Pooja, you know, there's still streetcar problems. They are trying to restore that power. Power to some of the streetcars have been restored, but still not fully restored on all streetcar lines. So still some problems for the King streetcars, the Queen streetcars, also the Spadina and Dundas streetcars and the Harbourfront streetcars. They continue to divert in some locations and still utilizing some of those buses that are on some of those routes. So until it fully clears, we will let you know about the streetcar problems here on CP24. Now, Line 1 also affected by this hydro vault fire problem. Line 1, which is the Yonge University line, in the red, as you can see on Line 1, there is no train service in between Bloor and Union in both directions. They're running shuttle buses all the way to St. Andrew. Now, if you're taking the University line from Union Station, you can go northbound all the way to Wilson, and Wilson southbound all the way to St. Andrew. So give yourself extra time. Now, Downsview to Wilson red there, no train service in both directions because of a separate problem. That's a person injured at track level. So two problems on Line 1 right now. The main one is the hydro vault fire. And from Bloor to Union in both directions, there's no subway services. There's over 130 shuttle buses. As you can see, people still trying to get onto those shuttle buses, and TTC personnel trying to help the people get onto those shuttle buses safely. Traffic is congested right now. Give yourself extra time, Pooja. Okay, thank you for that update, Mika. Let's head back to CP24's Cam Woolley. He's keeping an eye on things on the streets. And last time we checked in with you, Cam, power seemed to be running up and running now for some of the streetcars, but not all.
Well, we're told that I just checked with the service guy, and that's him in the truck, the big white truck there. He says they do have the power on, but it does take a while for the streetcars to get going. The one under the bridge was one of the ones that got trapped with no power this morning. It does have power now, but they have to run the compressor for a while to bring up the air pressure to release the brakes on it. Looks like they have some air because the door's closed. It's an air system too, but there's a service vehicle in front and one beside. The operator told me he believed the other cars were working. I've just been trying to see over to Queen Street here. But with the snow now, it's getting hard to see. The other issue is with the parking. Some people have started to try and park along the roads here, sometimes near the streetcars, which creates other problems. But we're told that at least here in King, the streetcars should be running in the next few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you for the update, Cam, and of course, keep it here on CP24. We will continue to update you. Now, let's also find out a little bit more about the weather. You heard Cam mention it. It is a little hard to see what's going on. Visibility, a bit of an issue with the snow that's coming down now. Now, we should also mention with our meteorologist, Bill Coulter, that this is sort of the first wave. There's going to be another wave a little later on. Break it all down for us, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. The center of the low still back over the central Midwest of the U.S. The track it's taking will take it just south of the lower lakes, putting us on the north side or the cold side of this low, and it will also, as it approaches, give a lot more lift and give a lot heavier snow. So we're just getting the first little bands of snow moving their way in, light snow. We knew that would happen after about 8 a.m. There's a good chance it will also gap as this first band moves to the northeast. We may see everything lull from about noon to 3 p.m. And then the snow will start to build again as the center of the low pushes towards central Ohio and Pennsylvania, and that will happen through the evening hours. So kind of, I won't say enjoy this right now, but let this be the precursor, the heads up to you that it will get a lot worse as we push into the evening hours, and maybe this is a little bit of practice before we get into the main heart of the system or get what you need to do done, especially while we gap into the early afternoon. Cold air is in place, so this moisture-laden system runs into that, and that's what's creating the collision or the front and really aiding in this precipitation event. And it's going to be a cold weather one, so we're going to see this as a snow event, unlike previous systems which have come with a whole mixed bag of precipitation. Pretty cold start to the day for a lot of you waiting out there on streetcar platforms for those shuttle buses because we are looking at that cold air that filtered in behind the cold front yesterday. You can see that arm reaching out from eastern Lake Huron to western Lake Ontario. That's what we're dealing with right now, but it will lift off to the north, and we'll see a bit of a gap as we move forward from here. And then it will start to build again as we push through the late afternoon, evening, and overnight hours. There's your warning area for a winter storm, snowfall warning area, all 15 centimeters there, 15 to 25 for the warning area. And again, we will see snow and blowing snow. Bumper up to the morning commute tomorrow. It will pull away, but still some blowing and drifting to think about as you head to work tomorrow as well. Pooch, I'm going to send it back inside.
Thanks so much, Bill. Well, while we're talking about this weather and spring, it is coming. It's not quite here yet, as we can see today. Well, many of us, we still have last-minute vacations on our minds. And joining us now is Rachel Goldrick from sunwick.ca to talk a little bit more about last-minute inspiration for March break. Thanks for joining us, Rachel.
Thanks for having me.
So certainly people are thinking about family getaways for March break. Tell me, what is sort of the best resort to book?
Well, a destination that's coming up a lot at the moment is Jamaica. And I think it's understandable why, because it's just so much for families to check out there. Summing offers 3 different resort destinations on the island. You've got Ocho Rios and Negril, Montego Bay, and each of them has got its own sort of advantages, but I think what they all consistently offer is a wide range of resorts that are just great for catering to families. Several of them are Smile resorts, which means you can check out some kids stay, play and eat free deals, which are always handy if you're looking for a March getaway. And several of them also are Splash World resorts, which means that you get free admission into a water park, whether it's on site or next door to the resort. So plenty of things to keep kids busy. And I think Jamaica really stands out for the quality of the kids' programs. You've got everything from archery to laser tag to scuba, snorkeling opportunities with the kids. So lots to keep them busy on the island.
Yeah, so you're talking about the resort in Jamaica, but what about Jamaica itself as a destination? Why is it so popular?
Well, it's not just for honeymooners. The beaches are great for making sandcastles and swimming, and there's so many great excursions that you can book as part of your package to really, get the most out of it. There's everything from zip lining to tubing to the Mystic Mountain is just great for kids, where you've got the Jamaican bobsled sort of canopy that takes you sort of whirling around the forest. You've got cable car rides, bit of culture as well. You can go and do a spooky tour of Rose Hall and learn about the White Witch. There's so many different things to get off the beach and sort of pack in some great activities.
So if not Jamaica, can you recommend some other recommendations for destinations?
There's lots of other destinations right now. If you're sort of looking for more inspiration, it's worth taking a look at some of the first-hand reviews at the Sunwing site with the Kidcation reviews, where our junior vacationers aged between 6 and 14 have gone out with their GoPros and sort of uploaded some fabulous reviews of different destinations, some destinations that are hot right now. So plenty of ideas on the site if Jamaica doesn't grab you, or you could also email in a question.
All right, Rachel, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. Right now, it's 10:23 and -9. By the way, you can get more information by visiting our website, cp24.com/sunwingtravel.
This CP24 segment is brought to you by sunwing.ca. Experience the difference.
This just into CP24, the victim from last night's shooting in the Junction has died. Paramedics were called just after 7 last night. This was to Annette Street near Keele and Dundas. The victim was found suffering from a gunshot wound to his head. He was rushed to hospital and was pronounced dead. Police say he was 29 years old, and there's no word on any suspects at this time. Toronto police say the case is the city's 16th homicide of the year. 10:24 -9. This is Toronto's breaking news. CP24. We continue to follow a major TTC problem affecting subway and streetcar service. Crews are currently working to service after a hydro vault fire. This was on Richmond Street. It knocked out power. Power is currently being restored to the affected streetcars, and there is still no subway service on Line 1 between Bloor and St. Andrew stations. The TTC does hope to have everything back for the afternoon rush. Of course, we will have the latest developments for you coming up in minutes.
You can see from Chopper 24, people lined up around the block.
Prime Minister is here to meet with Mayor John Tory.
All kinds of emergency vehicles on the scene, including Toronto Police.
Home. It's where one look can say it all, and where everything on the table is on the house. Find your look with the brand that has more style and great value. Ashley Furniture Home Store. This is home. Life is what you make it. Blinds to Go makes it easy. Blinds to Go. Blinds for life.
Blinds to Go's cellular shades are as beautiful as they are energy efficient, insulating your home in warm weather and cold. Right now, take 25% off hundreds of styles and colors, just in time for winter. Blinds to Go, blinds for life.
This kid makes stains like crazy, so we got our new HE washing machine, but it took forever.
Turns out it wasn't the machine, it was our detergent. So we switched to Tide Turbo Clean. Now we get way cleaner clothes, way faster.
6 times the clean versus Purex in half the time.
Here's a deal you'll be very comfortable with all year long. Buy a featured furnace from Reliance, and we'll throw in a free air conditioner when you pay for installation. Sound good? Call Reliance now, because we're not comfortable until you are.
Home. It's where one look can say it all, and where everything on the table is on the house. Find your look with the brand that has more style and great value. Ashley Furniture Home Store. This is home.
Welcome back. Well, we continue to follow a major subway problem, but we actually have some good news. Let's head over now to CP24's Mika Modolo for more.
Yeah, so some good news for streetcar riders. So the streetcar power has been restored, Pooja, and regular service is starting to resume on the King streetcars, the Queen streetcars, the Harbourfront streetcars, the Spadina streetcars, and the Dundas streetcars that were affected by this power problem. Streetcars are now starting to move on all of those lines. As you can see, one of the operators are trying to run back into the streetcar right now. So give yourself extra time. You know it's going to be busy. It might be a little bit slower than normal, but right now, power has been restored on the streetcars. Now, still problems on line 1. This is a map of line 1. Look at the red. So still no service in between Bloor and Union in both directions because of the earlier problems. And so trains are running northbound from Union Station up to Wilson Station, southbound from Wilson Station all the way down to St. Andrew Station. They are running shuttle buses in between St. Andrew and Bloor stations, and there is a person injured at track level at Downsview Station, so no train service still between Downsview and Wilson. Pooja.
Okay, thank you, Mika. We appreciate the update. Right now it's 10:28 and -9. This is Toronto's breaking news. CP24, we are still dealing with big transit problems, even though the streetcar issue is much better now. This was after that early morning Hydro Vault fire. We'll have the latest update for you coming up.
If you've been loving this mild, dry winter, today's forecast may just snow on your parade. A messy storm system headed towards the GTA could make for a difficult drive home tonight. Watch for live weather and traffic updates all day long on Toronto's breaking news, CP24.
Oren buys diamond rings, watches, antiques, estate.
Let's go to Oren. He's gonna help us.
And now offers fast cash loans for jewelry.
At A&W, all of our bacon now comes from pork raised without the use of antibiotics. We're so excited, we decided to invite an entire town for breakfast. How do we feel about bacon? Here you go, guys. Bacon and eggers for you. You are the first to try our new bacon.
Wow.
That's good bacon. Our bacon now comes from pork raised without the use of antibiotics.
I like that. Fantastic. It's important.
I don't think I can feel any better about bacon.
I'm just going to take another bite.
You go ahead.
That is seriously good bacon.
Try our new bacon and our bacon and egger for just $2.50 at A&W.
At Bel Air Direct, we like to keep things simple. Need some simplified insurance?
Yes, please.
Getting a car insurance quote from BelAirDirect.com is far from frustrating.
We'll see about that.
With the new Quick Quote, it's 2 times faster to get a price.
Hey, not bad.
You betcha. And if you bundle your car and home insurance, you could save big. Plus, if you insure more than one vehicle, you save even more. And finally, if you have 35+ years of driving experience, you could save up to 20%.
Look, Grandpa, it's you.
Now that's a happy grandpa. So let's say you've been in a fender bender. With accident forgiveness, you'll be forgiven your first at-fault accident, so your premium won't increase as a direct result. Just like it never happened. Save yourself the worry. Get a quote from Bel Air Direct and you could save time and money. Call us at 1-844-650-6220.
Bring your gold and jewelry to Oren, Toronto's highest paying gold buyer.
Come in and see me today to get the most cash for your gold, jewelry, diamonds, watches, and silver.
Located at 900 Steep Rock Drive off Allen Road, 4 lights north of Shepherd, near the Downsview subway station.
Oren is better.
Good news, streetcars are moving again downtown, albeit slowly. This was after a Hydro Vault fire on Richmond Street knocked out power to the TTC this morning. But don't forget, it will be a while before full service is back. Also, we have a live look for you. This is at Bloor subway station where CP24's George Legajanis will have the latest developments, but you can see still pretty busy even at this hour. And it comes as the snow starts to fall for the start of a major winter storm. We'll have the latest forecast for you just ahead. Good morning, 10:31 -9 from 299 Queen Street West. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24. Hello, I'm Pooja Honda. A mess downtown this morning as power issues throw the TTC into disarray. A Hydro Vault near Yonge and Richmond, it caught fire around 1:30 this morning, and this halted streetcars downtown and stopped trains on a portion of Line 1. We want to get more now on all of the transit issues. We're joined live by CP24's Mika Modolo. A little bit of good news, but break it down for us. What do we still need to know?
Okay, let's talk about the good news. Streetcars. Streetcars are running. The power has been restored on all the streetcar lines that were affected. That's the King streetcars, the Queen streetcars. As you can see, this King streetcar is running, which is great news. King, Queen, Spadina, Dundas, and Harbourfront streetcars are now running their regular routing. Just give yourself extra time. As you know, there will be some delays, and this weather is not helping. Now, line 1, let's take a look at a map on line 1. Line 1, there was red on line 1 in between Bloor and Union. That means no train service still in between Bloor and Union stations right now because of those earlier problems, the power fault problems. So power issues still on line 1 from Bloor to Union in both directions. No train services. They are running shuttle buses from Bloor to Union in both directions and also up to St. Andrews. So if you're going northbound on Union Station to Wilson Station, you can. Southbound Wilson all the way down to St. Andrew, that's where trains are running in that area. There's no train service due to a separate problem in between Downsview and Wilson Station because of a person injured at track level. Pooja.
Okay, thank you for that update, Mika. Now that Hydro Vault fire that triggered that major TTC disruption, it continues, and CP24's George Legagenis is at Bloor Station, where it's been pretty steady with commuters, George.
I'll say, Pooja, let's double down on that information, that vital information that Pooja or that Mika just delivered to you. I've got TTC CEO Andy Byford standing by here at the corner of Yonge and Bloor. Busy spot, lots of people. What's the latest?
Okay, so the latest is we've just re-energized power and we are about to start running test trains. The reason we do that, George, is we run empty trains in both directions to check that we're not going to blow the power. So we want to make sure the power holds before we run trains in passenger service, because the last thing we want to do is run trains in passenger service, have the power blow, and then end up with trapped trains. So once we're certain that the test trains have gone through okay without incident, that's the point at which we can resume the service and get my poor customers inside and in the warm.
And now once that's all settled and reconciled, we have to look forward to a pretty significant weather event, because the more I'm hearing, we may break snow records today. We're going to get almost as much snow today as we've had all winter. How might that impact service today beyond this?
Well, we're pretty good at dealing with snow, and I know we have well-rehearsed plans for dealing with snow. It's pretty much an annual event here. So we've set up what we call the snow desk at Transit Control. That was already going to be happening. We keep trains moving up and down the line, which keeps the tracks free of snow. If necessary, we store the trains in the tunnels to keep them warm and to make sure they don't get trapped. On the streetcar network, we equip the streetcars with what are called cutters and sliders to make sure that ice doesn't form on the overhead, and we have response crews out to make sure that sidewalks are kept free. So we're pretty good at it. In fact, you know, other properties like Boston have come to see how we handle snow here, because we've got a fully dedicated fleet to make sure that we can cope with it.
Let me ask you this. Once the subway service comes back online, full grade, full stop, all working, then we're going to have a lot of these shuttle buses going back to other routes. Have these buses been taken off of other routes to compensate? And what happens there?
Absolutely, they have. So what we normally do is once the subway service resumes, we run a few trains up and down. We keep the shuttle buses on for a little while longer, just in case. Just bear in mind on this. Just hang on one second. Sure. Yeah. Hi, Mike. I'm actually talking to TV right now.
Andy's just getting a quick call. This might be important, so stay tuned. Again, we're at the corner of Yonge and Bloor. A lot of passengers here. Thousands of people lined up around the corner, been waiting in the snow. All morning, 4:30, we had this underground Hydro Vault fire that's affected service. Let's go back to Andy now.
Right, so I've just been told we will resume subway service in 5 minutes. So what that's good news. Saying, that is good news. So streetcars all up and running. We will resume the subway in 5 minutes. As I was just saying, we will keep the shuttle buses on for now because we obviously want to move people. We'll clear the backlog. But as soon as I know that the subway's actually up and running, I'll be personally helping out, going along the line, saying to people, please do come inside, get in the warmth, and we'll get you downtown or where it is you need to go. What then happens is we stand the shuttle down and the buses go back to their normal routes, or if they're not needed in the off-peak, they go back, they get fueled. You know, we get ready for the evening rush. So it's a well-rehearsed practice.
It is a delicate dance in the snow. Subway service in 5 minutes.
Yes, that's what we're predicting. But I'm not going to. I want to manage people's expectations. I don't want to be telling the lineup just yet, just in case there's a problem. But I've been told the test trains have gone okay. In which case, subway service up and running in 5 minutes.
Don't you love live TV?
It's good to be able to hear. And as I was just saying, people are surprised to see me out here, but as far as I'm concerned, if my customers are out here in the cold, then I'm out here in the cold.
It's we love you.
Service.
Andy Byford, thanks for joining us all morning on that. And there you go. straight from the TTC CEO, subway service will resume in about 5 minutes when he gets the absolute clear on that. Andy Byford himself will walk up and down this line of hundreds and hundreds of people that have been waiting in the cold now. He'll tell them, you know what, you can go inside now to wait for the subway. The buses will then, these shuttle buses, will be going back to their original routes. And who says you should turn your phone off when you're doing a live TV interview? Because had he turned his phone off for etiquette's sake, we wouldn't have gotten that very important breaking news that we've all been waiting for. Keep your phones on, but not when you go to the theater. That's just bad pool. Back to you.
Good point, George. Good point. You know, every call matters in this situation, and we saw that live with George. So again, we're hearing 5 minutes. That's approximately when service should resume. But of course, keep it here. We will update you on when that happens. Still with this story, CP24's Rena here. She's at the Richmond Street Hydro Vault. That was the source of today's problem. And Rena, what's the latest?
Well, I can tell you that crews are starting to clear over here, Pooja. They've done the work they needed to do. They say they've contained the problem. They've isolated the problem that really took root here overnight and brought down the streetcar system and part of the subway system as well. There has been some good news. They say they had 2 fixes to make. One of them related to streetcars. They made that quite some time ago. And even though it takes time to restore service levels and really get those streetcars back up and running at the same frequency that you're used to, at the end of the day, they said what they did is they contained the problem here, and they really sort of diverted power from other substations to get the streetcar problem under control and to get the streetcar infrastructure seeing power once again. Now, the other piece of good news is that we've been told that they've been running test trains along through the Young University Spadina line, you know, that stretch of subway that's seen that power outage there as well. That was the second fix they had been working on. So while the problem here has not been fully repaired, what they've done is they've contained the situation so they can pull in power from other substations to ensure that streetcar service and subway service is up and running again. Take a look behind me. They're pretty much clearing out from here within the next few minutes or so. So most of the TTC vehicles have left the scene, so have the Hydro vehicles. We've been told that while Toronto Hydro was brought in to assist with the situation here, at the end of the day, the problem was with TTC equipment and required a TTC fix. So the good news is it looks like both issues have been dealt with related to subway service and streetcar service, but take time before service levels are what they would expect, or you would expect them to be on a typical Tuesday morning. Over to you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for that update, Rena. And as we've been telling you here on CP24, the streetcars back up and running, albeit slowly. And Cam Woolley is keeping his eye on the streetcars for us this morning. Hi, Cam.
Hey, since last time we spoke, they did get rolling here on King Street and up in Queen. We can occasionally see through the snowstorm up at Queen and River, the streetcars passing by. That's one of the last of the shuttle buses going by now, just going away from us, going eastbound. And there was only a few people on it. Just looking back over my shoulder to see if any more streetcars are coming, but they have been moving along quite well. It might take another half hour or so for them to get fully going, but I just checked with the service people, and virtually all of them started okay and got moving. There was just one down at Union Station, one of the new floor ones, needed a little assistance from the service people. That's probably done by now. But here at Queen, Queen in the distance here at King, streetcar service has resumed, thankfully, just in time for all the snow too. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Cam. And we also have some great news. We want to head over to Mika. She has an update for us.
Yes, I just heard the call on the radio, Pooja, that full subway service has resumed on the TTC's Young University Spadina line. Full subway service, especially between between Bloor and Union Station. Subway service completely restored now on the TTC's Young University Spadina line. Great news for transit riders. Streetcars are also running too on regular routing. So great news right now. Subway service has been resumed. Pooja.
Yes, and we still want to remind people to pack the patience because it's not going to be fully back up and running the way you're used to. Of course, keep it here on CP24. we will continue to update you. Let's also talk a little bit about this weather. We are expecting more of a mess on the roads later today as the winter storm heads for Toronto and the GTA. Their area is actually under a winter storm warning. It's in advance of a heavy snow that is expected to hit later this evening. Now, the city says it has its fleet of salters and plows ready to hit the streets as the storm slams in. There are also travel advisories in place at Toronto airports. Travelers are being told to check their flight status before heading out. And let's find out exactly the breakdown of the system with our meteorologist, Bill Coulter. So we're really talking about 2 waves here, and with each wave comes its own accumulation of snow.
Yeah, and certainly the one now is the lighter one. Boy, with all this, everything coming back online and the good news in transit, I feel like the bad guy with what I'm about to say, but at least it will give you the information you need. I've got a friend flying out at 9 p.m. to Dubai at a Pearson and kind of wrote me on social media. He's like, do you think I'll be okay? And I just was like, no. This storm is really going to be at its peak between about 7 and midnight. And we are going to be seeing it ramp up around the dinner hour. But until we get there, as Pooja mentioned, a couple of waves. This first wave is light snow. It's happening right now. We've already got about 2 centimeters out here. It will ease back. It'll gap probably around noon through to about 3:30. It'll either really ease back or almost come to a stop altogether. You may go, what? That was it? Well, no. The main wave is really coming as this system approaches. The low is still back over Missouri, pushing towards southern Ohio, and it's going to track just south of the lower lakes, putting the sweet spot, which is just northwest of the center of low, right over the lower lakes and just northwest of there. So these are the areas 15 to 25 centimeters of snow possible. On the periphery of that, about 15 centimeters under the snowfall warning, and Toronto is in that 15 to 25. Now here's that initial band, and you can see it reaching out from central eastern Lake Huron to the west end of Lake Ontario. That will lift off to the north a bit, and we'll see things gap as it already is. And then we'll see things pick up again just before the dinner hour and really ramp up through the evening. It's going to be snowing and blowing from about 7:30 through to midnight. It's the worst time to be out there on the roads. You might opt to take in a movie after all. Just turn off your cell phone. Just set it back inside.
Some real slowdowns out there, actually getting slippery, still slow. Eastbound to the Gardner Expressway starting near Parkside. Eastbound Lakeshore is also very slow. We have a collision being cleaned up eastbound on Lakeshore near Jameson. And there was a problem jamming things up. Still a jam eastbound to the Gardner Expressway through Jarvis, but the collision has now been moved out of the way on the eastbound Gardner. Top end of the Don Valley Parkway, really busy down as far as Lawrence. There's a problem being cleaned up on the ramp from westbound 401 Express lanes to the 404. And a problem being cleaned up on the exit ramp from southbound 400 to the eastbound 401. Number of problems in town, including a collision College and Gladstone, Burnhamthorpe and West Mall, Lawrence and Carnforth, Finch near the 427. It's slippery out there. People are finding out the hard way. Pooja.
Yes, that's a good reminder. Thank you so much, Bob. By the way, more now on our top story. Good news for commuters. Finally, CP24's George Legagenis is at Bloor Station. And a smile on your face, hopefully a smile on all of those passengers' faces as well.
Oh, Pooja. 5 hours after, 6 hours almost after this incident, that's why the big ear-to-ear grin on my face, because things have finally resolved. This is Andy Byford, the TTC's CEO, and that's the best visual of the day behind you, an empty Bloor Street.
Absolutely.
There were thousands of people, frankly, lined up this morning, so things are back online 100%.
They are, and so it was with great pleasure, actually. A number of us went along the lineup to say, good news, folks, no need to stand out here anymore. Please do go inside, get warm. Subway's just resumed. So about 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, I got the phone call to say we've done the test trains, the power is held, we're back on the move, northbound and southbound. So that now means everything's back up and running, the streetcar network's up and running, the subway's up and running. You know, I'd just like to say to my customers, thank you so much for bearing with us. Not the best of days to be out here. You know, I think the shuttle worked pretty well, and I am very appreciative of my staff here today, the Toronto Police Service who've helped us, City Transportation, Toronto Fire who helped us deal with that fire in the vault. But the good news is it's all back and running now, George, and our attention will turn to getting the buses back en route and then to looking into what caused this incident in the first place.
Yeah, you'll have to debrief on that, but when you consider the fact that this was a test that no one saw coming, a pop quiz, so to speak, I think things were handled pretty well. I saw not one incident of any kind of customer issues out here today. Everyone just followed direction, and we all got along together and got to the resolution.
Well, I think customers have been fantastic. fantastic. They really have. And it was very nice, actually. A couple of them gave us some good compliments about the way we've organized this morning, because as you said, we had no notice that this was going to happen. This mysterious, fire happened in an underground vault underneath the sideboard. So I've no idea what caused that. But people have been appreciative of the fact that we've really thrown a lot of resource into this, and also the fact that it has been very well organized. I also had a couple of nice compliments about the way that we've communicated and kept people informed. Bottom line is, though, I hate doing this. I hate seeing shuttles on Yonge Street. We want to give Toronto a transit system that makes the city proud. So we really are going to get into the nitty-gritty now of what caused that fire in the first place.
Andy Byford, thank you so much for your time. Well done today. It's always a pleasure having Andy Byford on to speak with us. Not the best circumstances, but he was here, boots on the ground with all of us this morning to make sure we had the latest information, as always, live for you on CP24. Because Pooja, it's days like this when we kind of flip and bridge between being a news service to just a public service. Back to you.
Yeah, for sure. And George, great work there. I know it's been busy all morning. Finally some calm there now, George. Thank you. Right now it's 10:47 and -9. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about the weather, how it's impacting traffic out there. Visibility, definitely a bit of an issue. So we'll be checking in with Bob Summers. We'll also get an update with our meteorologist, Bill Coulter, talk about this storm and what exactly to expect. He'll have a full breakdown and timeline for you coming up.
The return of this year's most provocative new show. And answers to the biggest mystery on television. Quantico, Sunday at 10/9 Central on CTV.
I think it's a good idea. You should consider it. With all the government cutbacks to healthcare, some of my patients are paying for prescription drugs out of pocket. Are you self-employed or a contract worker? Don't have coverage through work or not enough of it? It's time to consider FlexCare from Manulife. It helps protect you from expenses that may not be covered by government or employee health plans. Expenses like prescription drugs, dental and vision care, chiropractors and physiotherapists. With FlexCare, you have a variety of plans to choose from, so you're sure to find one that fits your unique needs, including your budget. You'll find coverage starts at just $3 a day. So help protect yourself from unexpected medical expenses with Manulife, Canada's largest insurer. Request your free no-obligation quote and you'll get 50 Air Miles bonus miles. FlexCare from Manulife. Visit coverme.com/health or call 1-844-423-FLEX today.
Time for a check on our weather forecast with our meteorologist, Bill Coulter. It's been quite the morning commute and then the weather on top of that. But let's now sort of shift towards what's going to happen this afternoon, especially also for that drive home.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a really kind of an interesting story. We knew we'd get this initial band from about 8 through to noon where we'd pick up a couple of centimeters. It's going to gap here, but it's going to continue to snow to our north. If you're heading up towards Grey and Bruce counties, over towards south end of Georgian Bay, it will continue to snow, but it will lift a little bit to the northeast temporarily. So from about noon through to about 3:30, we're going to see it ease almost altogether. You're going to get people saying, wow, that was it, that was a bust. But no, this is just the initial wave. The main event is happening from around the dinner hour through to just after midnight, and it will be impressive. It will be cold, it will be windy, it will be blustery, and it will be snowing at a fairly heavy rate. So much so that we'll pick up probably 10-15 centimeters in about a 6-hour period on top of the 2-3 that we got in the last hour, and continuing on for the next hour before it gaps for a little bit. It will remain cold. The high today about -4, -5, feeling close to -10 at its warmest. The easterly winds picking up a little bit of moisture off Lake Ontario, but it's really the system snow that will do the bulk of the work as this system slides by us just to the south, putting us in the sweet spot for heavy snow, and that's usually about 200 kilometers just northwest of the center of the low. The low's still back south of Ohio, but pushing up towards western Pennsylvania, and you can see there's that initial band. You can see it's going to be lifting to the northeast, and here's where we're looking at the winter storm warning, 15 to 25 centimeters, about 15 centimeters in these areas shaded in white under a snowfall warning. And here's the timeline. Up until about 5, we'll see just that light snow, intermittent, and then it really ramps up through the evening, early overnight, before pulling away away pre-rush hour tomorrow, and then we'll still see some blowing and drifting for your morning rush, but it really will start to clear out nicely, and we'll even get into some sunshine later in the afternoon on Wednesday to kind of brighten things up. It'll remain cold through the end of the work week, but look, we're warming up. The weekend not bad, 5 on Monday and 10, believe it or not, on Tuesday. We'll have more on that and this storm event coming up.
Still lots of traffic on the Gardner. If you avoid the Gardner, there's also a problem to talk about on Lakeshore. Eastbound on Lakeshore, just before you get to British Columbia, there's a collision block in the right lane. Gardner, wanted to check it out through Jarvis where things are getting better. The problem has now cleared eastbound to the east of Jarvis. Don Valley Parkway getting slowed down as far as Lawrence. It's actually a problem. Southbound on the Don Valley Parkway, Lawrence collision just happened. There's still a problem being cleaned up on the ramp from westbound 401 express lanes to the 404. Had a problem. Looks like it's now cleared on the ramp from southbound 400 to eastbound 401. Those appear to be MTO Salter trucks. Getting a look at the 401. You know what? For the most part, it has been improving. Had a number of problems in town, including College and Gladstone, Burnhamthorpe and Westmall, Lawrence and Carnforth, Finch at the 427. Pooja.
Thank you, Bob. 10:52 and -9. This is Toronto's breaking news. CP24. Well, good news for TTC riders. Things are moving again after a power issue knocked out subway and streetcar service for most of the morning. Now, streetcars are once again running and subway service has been restored. Keep it here on CP24. We will bring you the latest coming up.
It's time to start it up. To change the game. To keep the hits coming.
It's a last gasp winner.
To be Canada's best. It's time for opening day. MLS season launch. Sunday on TSN.
I'm lucky to get through a shift without a disaster. My bargain detergent couldn't keep up, so I switched to Tide Pods. They're super concentrated, so I get a better clean.
19% cleaning ingredients or 90%. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide.
At Burgell McGency, we know that an accident doesn't just affect the injured person.
It affects their entire family.
We'll listen and help you understand your rights.
We'll treat you with respect and compassion.
And we'll fight to get you the compensation you deserve.
As if you were family.
For over 40 years, Burgell McGency has recovered hundreds of millions of dollars for injured clients and their families.
Let our family help yours.
Burgell McGency, 416-665-2000.
Could you use $20,000, $30,000, or even $300,000? Home equity loans beyond compare. Call 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL.
CapitalDirect.ca.
CP24 is proud to support the Canadian Cancer Society. Are you ready to join the fight?
Are you in the mafia?
Am I in the what? We're gonna take this family into the 21st century. Money for everybody.
Stream The Sopranos on Crave TV. Start your 1-month trial.
Closed captioning of this CP24 program is brought to you in part by Slim Quick Pure. Weight management designed for women. For a healthier you, take the Slim Quick 25-pound challenge today.
Welcome back. Well, the TTC is up and running on the subway and streetcars as well. Let's get all the details now. We're joined live by CP24's Mika Modolo. And Miko, I guess we should also just mention that it's going to take a while for things to get completely back to normal.
Oh, exactly. You know what, Pooja? The platforms are going to be packed. Regular service has resumed. Just it's not going to be back to normal until everyone gets picked up and then everyone gets to their places safely. So the Young University Spadina line, the trains are running completely, especially between Bloor and Union in both directions. There's still a problem on the Young University Spadina line in between Downsview and Wilson Station. That's line 1 of the university part. So that's because of a person injured at track level. That has nothing to do with the power problems. But Downsview to Wilson, no train services, but Wilson all the way up to Finch, there's train services, and streetcars are back to regular routing. Just give yourself extra time. The streets are still going to be very busy. Pooja.
Okay, thanks for the update, Mika. Now, we may be gearing up for a winter storm, but our Boys of Summer begin their Grapefruit League schedule today in the Sunshine State. The Blue Jays play the Philadelphia Phillies today in spring training action in Clearwater, Florida. First pitch is expected at 1 this afternoon. The Jays will wrap up their spring schedule with 2 games in Montreal against the Boston Red Sox in April, ahead of the season opener in Tampa Bay on Sunday, April 3rd. The Jays play their home opener on April 8th against the Red Sox. 10:56 and -9. This is Toronto's breaking news. CP24. Well, the subway and streetcar service has been restored following an early morning Hydrovolt fire. We'll have the latest update coming up.
If you've been loving this mild, dry winter, today's forecast may just snow on your parade. A messy storm system headed toward GTA could make for a difficult drive home tonight. Watch for live weather and traffic updates all day long on Toronto's breaking news, CP24.
Have you ever walked into a big fancy car dealership and wondered
who's paying for this place?
Shopping for a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, or Fiat? Log on to PeelChrysler.com. Actual photos, rock bottom prices. Click, shop, buy online, save big.
Because nobody beats a deal from Peel.
If you've been in an auto accident, you may be a little confused about what needs to be done next. Call 1-800-ASK-GARY and they'll take good care of you. They'll find you the resources you need to get back on track. Ask Gary can refer you to a lawyer who may be able to help you recover some of your lost wages. So call 1-800-ASK-GARY and rest easy. Just like the ER, Ask Gary is open 24/7. Hey, accidents happen. It's what happens next that can save you.
Call 1-800-ASK-GARY, a free 24/7 auto accident and injury helpline.
I knew instantly that this was, wow. It's Crest HD.
Go Pro with Crest Pro Health HD.
It's 2 steps. First one, cleans. Second one, polishes and whitens. By isolating key ingredients, each step focuses on their separate jobs.
Crest HD gives you a 6 times cleaner mouth and 6 times whiter teeth.
I mean, it gets practically every detail. That's why it's called HD.
Try Crest Pro Health HD. Life opens up with a cleaner mouth.
How do you turn some assembly required into no assembly required? You get someone else to do it. Someone who thinks with his stomach, not his brain. Someone with a bit of a bacon tooth. Yup, my roommate Chad. Simple, simple Chad.
For more home improvements, visit ChangeYourLifeWithBacon.com. Have you ever walked into a big fancy car dealership and wondered
who's paying for this place?
Shopping for a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, or Fiat? Log on to PeelChrysler.com. Actual photos, rock bottom prices. Click, shop, buy online, save big.
Because nobody beats a deal from Peel.
All right, we've got breaking news. Subway trains and streetcars are moving once again after power was cut to the TTC in the core overnight. And here's a live look at the Bloor subway station where CP24's George Leggett-Janis will have the very latest on what's happening. And this comes as the GTA deals with a winter storm. Coming up, the very latest forecast on how much snow we may get. It's 11 o'clock -9. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24. Hello, I'm Nathan Downer. Well, the TTC is back up and running after a power outage stopped subway and streetcar service downtown for the morning rush. A hydrovault near Yonge and Richmond caught fire at around 1:30 this morning, and this grounded streetcars to a halt on the King, Queen, Dundas, Spadina, and Harbourfront lines. It also stopped subway trains on Line 1 between the Bloor and St. Andrew stations. And CP24's Rena here is at the Richmond Street Hydrovault.